Now, to make the best naan bread at home, start by adding 300 grams or 2.5 cups of all-purpose flour into a bowl of some description, followed by 6 grams or 1 teaspoon of salt and 9 grams or 2.5 teaspoons of sugar. Give it a whisking to combine. In a separate jug, mix 125 grams or half a cup of slightly warm blood temperature water with 3 grams or 1 teaspoon of instant fast-action yeast. If you're using fresh yeast, double the amount. Yeast is important for the proper light and chewy texture we all love about great naan. Stir in 100 grams or half a cup of plain Greek yogurt and 200 grams or 1.5 tablespoons of melted ghee or cooking oil. Mix it together and let it stand like a naughty boy in the corner to bloom for 10 minutes. Once kind of frothy, add it to the flour and mix it into a rough dough. At this point, it won't be smooth, but the liquid should all be in there with no dry bits of flour left. Cover with a damp towel for 15 minutes to fully hydrate the flour. Once hydrated, very slightly dust your workbench. Dump the dough onto it and gently, but not too gently, knead and fold into a round, smooth dough ball. Pop it back into the bowl and cover with your faithful old damp tea towel. Place it into the oven with only the light turned on, or simply a warmish place so it can rise and double in size, which should take about 1.5 to 2 hours. During this time, we make a garlic butter, which is half the secret to these wonderfully addictive Indian flatbreads. Heat a pan on medium, then add 50 grams or 3 tablespoons of ghee or butter to it. Once melted, add as many cloves of garlic as your breath desire. I used about 6, which just about keeps me from being homeless. Lightly cook it on low heat without caramelizing it. Once done, you set it aside and keep it at room temperature. Once your naan dough has risen beautifully, you knock it back and lightly flour your bench. Divide the dough into 8 roughly equal pieces, weighing about 70 to 80 grams each. If you want to be specific, then weigh it, but for home use, with adequate people, the 1 or 2 grams left or right won't usually cause domestic disputes. But then again, avoiding problems are easier than dealing with them, so you decide what works best for you and your reality. Once divided, you grab a tray of some description and lightly oil it with cooking oil. Tightly shape each piece of dough into a taut round ball. We'll slow it down so you can get the technique right. I flip the dough onto its smooth side. Then bring the edges onto itself in gentle stretch and fold motion. Once you've gone round the outside, you pinch the bottoms together. Give them a light roll on the table to make sure they are perfectly round. Then pop them onto your oiled tray. I like oiling my hands as well as the dough balls to prevent introducing too much flour along the way, and it also makes the shaping step much easier. Once they are all oiled up, shiny and round, cover with another tray turned upside down, or simply some greta wrap. Let them proof until 50% increased in size. This takes about 30 minutes, but use your common sense and sight. If you unfortunately don't have that, then thanks for watching anyway. You know I love you and we'll make a plan. While that's doing its thing, you will need a cast iron skillet or a heavy bottomed pan. Traditionally, naan is cooked in a tandoor, so we need to mimic the heat to get close to the real deal. Apart from that, we need a little bit of flour for rolling them out and a tiny bit of ghee or oil to brush the pan with. The dough is ready when nice and puffy, but not deflating when you touch it. We do these one by one, so keep the dough covered. Also grab a plate and bowl to keep the cooked ones warm while we soldier through these. Heat your pan on low gently while we shape these up. Lightly dust your workbench with flour. Many Indian restaurants use a ton of oil in this step, but we'll keep it home friendly for you. Place the top side onto the table, meaning flip the dough over like a turtle on its back. Gently, but not too gently, work the dough with both hands into a round, flat shape. Make sure to flatten the sides too, to avoid ending up with a pizza shape. You can stretch these thin enough after enough practice, but for now, just use a rolling pin to get them nice and thin. They should be almost see-through and close to tearing. If they do tear, just stick them back together. or cook it like that. No one cares, and if they do, simply divorce them. By now, our pan is nice and hot and ready for your first naan. Lightly oil the pan. I simply use a drop of oil and then wipe it with a paper towel. And that does the job well. Place your dough into the hot pan and watch that thing puff up and blister around. Move it around and check the bottom every few seconds or so to make sure things don't get too dark. You want it charred, but not so charred that it's burnt and unpleasant. Flip the naan around and cook the other side. Once nice, blistery and adequately charred all over, you place it into a bowl you prepared earlier. Brush it with your garlic butter and an optional but highly necessary sprinkling of chopped soap plant, also known as cilantro or coriander. Finish with a sprinkling of fleur de sel or flaky sea salt to be fancy and adequate. Then cover with a plate to keep warm. Repeat the process until all your naans are cooked. Roll it, cook it, butter it up, level it up, keep it warm. Ready to have with this ridiculously tasty butter chicken we made last week. But more importantly, ready to go live a happy life.